Okay, so for this project, I decided to talk about law enforcement officers. So I chose this topic because one day I would like to join the police force. I've always been interested in law enforcement, and choosing this topic for the presentation helped me learn a lot of interesting and important facts about law enforcement. The iSearch question that I use is, what steps do I have to take to be a part of law enforcement? I chose this question because I felt and still feel like it's the most important to know. If you want to join law enforcement, first question you're going to want to know is, how do I join? So let's talk about training. So I learned that in New York State, if you want to join law enforcement, you have to go through 13 to 19 weeks of training. And in most cases, you only have to have a high school diploma or GED to join law enforcement. While learning about law enforcement, I've also learned about something called Terry Frisk and Stop. This is allowing police to briefly detain a person based off reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. In other words, if an officer stops to search a pedestrian, it is known as Terry Frisk and Stop. There are many scenarios on why officers can search you. One example is if an officer pulls you over and feels you may be armed and dangerous, he has the right to pat you down and make sure you do not have any weapons. I've also learned about probable cause, which is a requirement that must be met before police can make an arrest, conduct a full search, or receive a warrant. There is no clear definition of what gives an officer probable cause. Police officers must be able to point out objective circumstances leading to them to believe that a suspect committed a crime. There are many different agencies connected to law enforcement. All different agencies have different focuses. Three agencies are state police, sheriffs, and local police. State police role is to enforce laws on state and federal highways and sometimes assist nearby police jurisdictions. A sheriff's duty is to provide public safety services. Examples of what they do is operating the county jail in a safe manner, serving warrants, and etc. And lastly, a local police focuses on investigating local crimes, providing patrols, and upholds laws within their jurisdiction. A nonprofit organization for law enforcement officers would be the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. This organization maintains the memorial in Washington, D.C., and allows them to engrave new names of fallen officers every spring. This organization helps honor the fallen officers and tell the story of American law enforcement. You could join this organization by volunteering or seeking employment. Thank you for listening. Does anybody have any questions?